Have you ever stood in front of the mirror, running your fingers through your hair, and wondered what happened to the thick, full strands you once had? Maybe you have caught yourself thinking that getting older means you simply have to accept hair that is flat, limp, and lacking life. I understand that feeling because I have been there myself, staring at my reflection and wishing my hair looked the way it used to. What I have learned over the years is that thinning hair is not the end of your story. It is not a flaw, and it certainly does not define your beauty. More often than not, it just needs a different kind of care. With the right approach, gentler handling, and a few smart styling secrets, you can bring back the look of volume and movement without a complicated routine. In this video, I want to share 5 powerful principles that can make fine or thinning hair appear noticeably fuller from the very first time you try them. You will also hear real stories from women who, like us, have found ways to transform not only their hair, but also their confidence, all without costly salon treatments or hours of effort. There is also one special trick that I am saving for the end of the video, something so simple and subtle that once you see it, you will wonder how you ever styled your hair without it. Stay with me, because what you are about to learn could completely change the way you feel about your hair. Understanding thinning hair in women over 50. No one really prepares us for how much our hair can change after 50. I remember one morning standing in my bathroom, brushing my hair and realizing there were more strands in my brush than on my head. It was a moment that made me pause and wonder, when did this start happening? Have you ever had that moment yourself where you notice your hair just isn't what it used to be? If so, trust me, you're not alone. One of the biggest reasons for thinning hair at this stage of life is hormonal change. After menopause, estrogen and progesterone levels drop significantly, which can cause the hair follicles to shrink. According to a 2023 report from the American Academy of Dermatology, more than 50% of women notice visible thinning once they reach 50. On top of that, we naturally lose collagen as we age, and without enough collagen, our hair becomes weaker, less elastic, and more prone to breakage. Stress is another hidden factor. Even a short period of high stress can push hair follicles into what's called the resting phase, meaning the hair stops growing and starts shedding more than usual. Our diets also tend to change with age. We might eat less protein or skip certain vitamins without realizing that our hair depends on those nutrients to stay healthy and strong. Then there's the way we style our hair. For years, I believed cutting my hair short would make it look thicker and easier to manage. In reality, my fine hair looked even thinner and my scalp was more noticeable. I had fewer options to play with and I felt stuck. Have you ever gone for that short and simple cut thinking it was the answer, only to regret it the moment you looked in the mirror? The truth is, thinning hair is not just about losing strands. Each strand itself becomes finer. The follicles grow weaker and the roots lose their natural lift. Once you understand that, you can stop fighting your hair and start working with it. And when you learn how to do that, you will be amazed at the kind of volume and movement you can create. Something as simple as changing your approach can make you see your hair in a completely different light, and that is when the real transformation begins. Mistake number 1: cutting your hair too short because you think it will look thicker. Many women over 50 believe the moment their hair starts thinning, the only answer is to cut it short. I used to think that too, convinced a shorter style would make my hair look fuller and require less effort. Have you ever had that thought? The truth is, thickness is not about length alone. It is about the cut's shape, how the layers are placed, and how the hair frames your face. A 2023 survey from the American Hair Loss Association found that nearly 46% of women over 50 who cut their hair short for volume regretted it within 6 months. While short hair can sometimes add bounce, it often takes away styling options and can make fine hair appear even thinner. I spent years afraid that longer hair would hang limp and draw attention to thinning spots. Then I worked with a stylist who added soft blended layers starting around my cheekbones. The layers created movement, gave the illusion of density, and drew attention to my features rather than my hairline. My friend Lan, 55, wore a short bob for years and felt exposed because her scalp showed more. When she grew her hair to shoulder length with light layers, she looked softer, fuller, and received more compliments than she had in years. She told me, "I feel like myself again." Length, when shaped correctly, can be your friend. Short hair is not automatically fuller hair, and sometimes it highlights thinning areas instead of hiding them. The right layering can give you versatility, volume, and renewed confidence. And once you rethink how you cut and shape your hair, you will discover styling possibilities that can completely change the way you see yourself in the mirror. Mistake number 2, not lifting the roots. When styling, one of the fastest ways to make thinning hair look even thinner is to skip root lifting. Have you ever finished styling your hair, looked in the mirror, and thought, "Why does it still look flat?" I used to feel the same way. The problem isn't always the products you use, it's how you start the styling process. Gravity is not our friend when it comes to fine or thinning hair. If you let your hair dry naturally without encouraging lift at the roots, those strands will settle right against your scalp. According to a 2023 styling trends survey by Professional Beauty Association, 62% of women over 50 said they struggle with maintaining volume for more than 2 hours after styling. That's because once hair dries flat at the root, it is much harder to create lasting lift. Here is the secret that changed my mornings. Flip your head upside down and blow dry for about 60 seconds while using your fingers to gently lift and separate the hair at the base. Skip the brush at this stage. Your fingers are lighter and prevent pulling the hair down. I like to apply a small amount of lightweight root lifting mousse before blow drying, focusing only on the roots. This takes me about 3 minutes before heading out the door, and the difference is night and day. My hair feels bouncier, looks fuller, and actually holds that shape throughout the day. If you start thinking about gravity as something you can work against instead of giving into, you'll see how small styling tweaks can create big results. And once you've mastered root lift, there's another simple trick that can completely change how thick your hair appears without adding a single extra strand. Mistake number 3, keeping the same part for too long. If your hair has been falling in the exact same part for years, you might be making it look thinner without even realizing it. Have you ever noticed that certain areas along your part seem to have less hair than before? That is not your imagination. Wearing the same part for years can weaken those strands over time, making the scalp more visible. According to a 2023 study by the International Journal of Trichology, repetitive styling patterns can contribute to localized thinning in up to 38% of women over 50. Here is why this happens. When hair lies in the same direction day after day, it becomes what I like to call part-trained, meaning it naturally falls flat in that one area. This creates a visual line that draws the eye straight to the scalp, which is the last thing we want if we are trying to make hair look fuller. A few months ago, I had a client who was preparing for her daughter's wedding. She had always worn a deep middle part, but I suggested we try a soft side part instead. We also added a subtle zigzag to break up the line. When she saw herself in the mirror, she laughed and said it looked like she had extra hair extensions. It instantly gave her more volume at the crown and made her whole style look fresher and more youthful. Sometimes the smallest change in direction can give your hair a whole new personality. And once you see how this simple tweak can work in your favor, you might be curious about another styling choice that has just as much power to transform your look. Mistake number 4, wearing hair too straight and lacking texture. One of the quickest ways to make thinning hair look even finer is to keep it perfectly straight and flat. Have you ever looked at a photo of yourself and thought your hair looked thinner than it actually is? That can happen when there is no texture to break up the light. According to a 2023 report from the Professional Beauty Association, Adding waves or curls can make hair appear up to 30% fuller to the human eye because texture creates shadows and dimension. When I turned 55, I realized my sleek straight hair was not doing me any favors. My stylist showed me 3 easy heat-free ways to add texture that were gentle enough for aging hair. The first was using Velcro rollers on slightly damp hair for about 20 minutes. The second was the overnight braid method, where I loosely braid my hair before bed and wake up with soft waves. The third was the twist and clip method, where I twist small sections, secure them with soft clips, let them dry naturally, and then shake them out for gentle bends. I once took a before and after picture of my hair using the overnight braid method. In the first photo, my hair looked flat and lifeless. In the second, it looked bouncier, fuller, and more youthful. I remember thinking, why didn't I do this years ago? Have you ever been surprised at how much better your hair looks with just a little wave or curl? When you start viewing texture as your secret weapon, you open the door to even more styling possibilities. And there is another surprisingly simple change that can help you achieve that fuller, healthier look you have been wanting. Mistake number 5, using too many heavy products. If your hair feels flat and lifeless shortly after styling, the culprit might be sitting right in your bathroom cabinet. Have you ever applied a handful of products hoping for more volume, only to watch your hair go limp within the hour? I used to think more product meant more control, but in reality, heavy formulas can smother fine or thinning hair. According to a 2023 hair care report from Mintel, 54% of women over 50 said they experienced product buildup that made their hair feel greasy faster. Thick conditioners at the roots, rich styling creams, and heavy oils can weigh the hair down and eliminate the natural bounce we work so hard to create. The solution is not to stop using products entirely, but to choose the right ones and apply them in the right places. I rely on 3 lightweight staples: a volumizing mousse at the roots for lift, a texturizing spray through the mid-lengths and ends for body, and a touch of dry shampoo at the crown for grip and freshness. These products give me hold without heaviness and keep my style looking alive throughout the day. I will never forget my friend Mai, who used to apply hair oil from roots to ends every morning. Within an hour, her hair would be stuck to her head. When she switched to using a small amount of mousse at the roots and spray only at the ends, she gained volume that lasted well into the evening. Have you ever had a product weigh your hair down like that? Once you simplify your routine and choose products that work with your hair's natural texture, you will see how much easier it is to maintain a fuller look. And there is still one final technique that can make an instant difference in how your hair appears. Habits you should quit right now. Sometimes the little things we do every day are the ones that hurt our hair the most. Have you ever wondered why your hair still looks flat even when you think you are doing everything right? Often, it comes down to a few bad habits that quietly work against us. One of the most common mistakes is applying heavy oils or thick conditioners directly to the roots. While we may think we are nourishing our hair, we are actually weighing it down at the very spot where we need the most lift. According to a 2023 survey from the American Hair Research Society, 59% of women over 50 who use rich oils at the roots reported losing volume within 2 hours of styling. Instead, keep those treatments on the mid-lengths and ends where the hair needs moisture most. Another habit to break is using hairspray that makes your hair stiff like a helmet. Those old-fashioned, extra-hold sprays may freeze a style in place, but they also freeze out movement and bounce. A flexible hold spray will keep your hair in shape without making it look hard or lifeless. And let's talk about hair accessories. Many women don't realize how much damage low-quality clips, overly tight hair ties, or even worn-out claw clips can cause. I once used a cheap claw clip that snagged my hair so badly I lost a noticeable chunk near my crown. Tight elastics can create breakage lines and flatten your roots, which is the opposite of what we want. If you often pull your hair back, choose fabric-covered ties. gentle claw clips with smooth edges, or barrettes that lift instead of press down. Breaking these habits is not about giving up the styles you love, but about making small swaps that protect your hair and keep it looking full. And when you combine better habits with the right styling techniques, that is when you start to see a real transformation in the mirror. The essential toolkit for fine hair. Having the right tools can make all the difference when you are working with fine or thinning hair. Have you ever noticed how your hair looks fuller when you use certain brushes or styling products? That is not a coincidence. Using the right tools can add instant lift and volume without expensive salon visits. You do not need to spend a fortune to get results. My go-to for root lift is a drugstore volumizing mousse that costs under $10. According to a 2023 consumer review report by Statista, over 65% of women over 50 who switched from high-end to affordable mousse reported equal or better results. I also keep a set of Velcro rollers in my bathroom drawer for quick, heat-free volume. Just 10 minutes while I do my makeup can give my hair a beautiful boost. For brushes, I recommend a large round brush with firm but gentle bristles. It grips the hair without pulling and helps create shape while blow drying. I clean my brushes once a week with warm water and a little shampoo to remove product buildup. My blow dryer is mid-range in price but lightweight and has a cool shot button to lock in volume. I also make sure to clean the lint filter every month because a clogged dryer can overheat and damage hair. Do you have a favorite tool that you feel you cannot live without? Sometimes it is not about buying more tools, but about learning to use the ones you have in the most effective way. When you pair the right products and tools with good daily habits, your hair will respond beautifully. And there is one more simple trick that can give you an instant transformation the very first time you try it. Caring for hair from the inside out. Healthy hair starts long before you pick up a brush or styling tool. What we put into our bodies and how we care for ourselves daily has a direct impact on how our hair looks and feels. Have you ever noticed your hair becoming dull or shedding more during times of poor sleep or high stress? Nutrition is a powerful factor. Hair is made primarily of protein, so making sure you are getting enough through lean meats, fish, eggs, or plant-based sources is essential. The American Academy of Dermatology reported in 2023 that deficiencies in iron, zinc, and biotin are linked to increased hair shedding in women over 50. I make it a habit to include spinach, nuts, and salmon in my weekly meals, and I have noticed my hair feels stronger. Managing stress is just as important. Even short bursts of stress can push hair into a shedding phase. For me, practicing deep breathing before bed and setting a consistent sleep schedule of at least 7 hours has made a visible difference. Better rest gives my hair the chance to grow and recover. I also take 5 minutes every evening to massage my scalp with my fingertips. This improves blood circulation, which helps nourish the follicles. A 2023 clinical trial found that women who performed daily scalp massage for 6 months saw a measurable increase in hair density. Lastly, do not overlook regular health checkups. Hormonal changes and thyroid issues can quietly contribute to thinning hair, and catching them early can help prevent further loss. When you nourish your body and manage your overall health, your hair naturally reflects that care. And once you combine inner health with the right outer styling techniques, the results can be truly remarkable. As we come to the end of our time together, I hope you can see that thinning hair is not a flaw to hide. It is simply a new chapter that calls for a different approach. With the right techniques and a little patience, your hair can have the movement, fullness, and beauty that makes you feel like yourself again. I want to encourage you to pick just one tip from what you have learned today and try it. Watch how even a small change can make you look in the mirror and smile. You might be surprised at how quickly your hair responds when you treat it with the care it truly needs. I would love to hear your story. Share your experiences, your struggles, or even your favorite hair trick in the comments so we can learn from one another. Together, we can build a space where women feel confident, beautiful, and supported at every stage of life. Remember, age does not take away your beauty. It simply changes the way you shine. And when you embrace those changes, you discover that your radiance is more powerful than ever.